Today, I am explaining the movie Bloodshot, explaining every scene as it happens. Watch till the end, and please like, share and subscribe if you enjoy this. U.S. Marine Ray Garrison stormed the house in Mombasa, Kenya, where a hostage was being held, without his team. Ray appeared with his team at the compound where the hostages and their kidnappers were. Ray took each of them down before confronting their leader, their main target. The target aimed his rifle at the hostage, causing Ray to lower his gun. The target asked for a helicopter. Ray told him to hand over his phone if he needed a helicopter. He successfully tricked the target into moving his rifle as he grabbed his pistol and fired at him, freeing the hostage. After a successful day's work, Ray returned home with his wife Gina, who had been waiting for him at the airport. They spent the evening alone together when she asked if he thought one day he would come home the same shape he left. The next day, Ray woke up to find that Gina had gone out to get them breakfast. He was attacked by two men in his bathroom. They began fighting, but he killed them. He then rushed out to go in search of Gina, bumping into a man who injected him with a sedative, which knocked him down. He regained consciousness to find that he had been kidnapped, and also restrained to a chair. The leader of the mercenaries, Martin Axe, questioned him on how the U.S. military learned about the hostage in Kenya, but Ray said he didn't know. In order to get Ray to talk, he brought out Gina, who he had initially kidnapped, but Ray didn't have an answer for him. Martin placed a device on Gina's head that would pierce through her skull when activated. Ray pleaded with him, saying that he didn't know. Martin killed Gina with the device. Ray tried to fight for a while and promised to go after Martin, telling him to take his chance to kill him now, or else he would regret not killing him when he comes after him. Then, angrily, Martin shot Ray dead. Ray awakened in the Rising Spirit Technologies lab, where he met KT and the lab CEO and lead scientist, Dr. Emil Harding. Harding told Ray that he was the first successful human subject of the Bloodshot program. Ray failed to recall his name when asked by Harding. Harding told Ray that his body was donated anonymously by the military when no family member claimed it after he got himself killed. Harding told him that he had been given a second chance through their program. Harding explained that his company specialized in cybernetic enhancements for U.S. military soldiers who were assets like Ray. Harding showed Ray that the technology increased his strength and healed his injuries, but the nanites needed to be regularly recharged. Ray was introduced to Dr. Harding's other patients, including female former U.S. Navy swimmer, Katie, who, after a chemical attack, now breathes through a clavicle-mounted respirator, making her immune to inhalants. There was also former U.S. Army Ranger Marcus Tibbs, who lost his sight but could see everything excellently with the help of some camera that sent the camera feeds to his optic nerves. Lastly, there was ex-Navy SEAL Jimmy Dalton, who had lost both his feet but had been given an engineered set of feet. Ray found it hard to believe what he was being told. Jimmy was told to take him to his designated room. Ray awakened from a nightmare, so he went to the facility's rehab room to work out. He realized that he had gained unmatched strength, which seemed to excite him. He watched an unaware Katie train underwater, and she came out of the pool upon seeing him. He told her about a nightmare, which shouldn't be possible if he didn't have a memory. She invited him to have a drink with her. While this was happening, the music came on, and this seemed to jostle his memories because he saw flashbacks of Gina and Axe. Ray left the facility with the goal of avenging Gina's death. Harding talked to him through the microprocessors wired to his brain, asking Ray where he was going. Ray replied that he had unfinished business. Harding told him that they were the only people Ray knew, so Ray told him that he had a wife, but Martin took her from him. Ray used the nanites and RST servers to hack into government criminal databases in order to find Martin, which Harding didn't approve of, saying it was illegal. He demanded that Ray come back. He told Ray that he would be sending Jimmy and Marcus after him, but that didn't deter Ray. He forged on to his destination. He told Ray that he couldn't leave because he was a very expensive prototype and they hadn't yet ascertained his capabilities. Ray told Harding that after the operation, he was going to come back. Ray learned how to fly a plane with the help of the nanites, then he headed to Budapest. Meanwhile, in Budapest, Martin and his team of bodyguards got into a convoy of 5 cars. Ray tracked him and ambushed them inside a tunnel, where he blocked their path with a large truck, which collided into the first car of Martin's security detail. Ray appeared and started shooting at them. He was shot, making the security detail think he was dead as he lay on the floor, but he started picking them off one after the other, killing them. He got shot at as well, but his wounds repaired rapidly. Martin, who was still inside one of the cars, was freaked out of his mind from fright. He called his associate Nick Barries for help after recognizing Ray, and telling him of Ray coming after him. Nick told him that he knew he was going to do it, So he told Martin that he should let the professionals they hired take care of Ray before he hung up, leaving him to his fate. After Ray was done with the security outside, he went after Martin, killing the leader of his security detail after compromising the bulletproof window. Martin begged him to spare him, telling him that he was making a mistake. He offered him help, but Ray killed him, not interested in what he had to say. Ray met Katie, Marcus, and Jimmy at an airfield to be taken back to RST. Jimmy set the vehicle Ray had come with on fire. Ray told them that they didn't need to pick him up because he would have come back. Katie asked him how he felt, and he replied that he had killed the person responsible for his wife's death. But nothing changed because his wife was still dead. He told her that he was done, and she replied the same, which he found strange, wanting to know what she meant. Marcus appeared, putting a stop to their conversation. Back at RST, Jimmy restrained Ray, telling him that his wife was alive and that he was being used to kill innocent people. He explained that he was only telling him because they were going to reset Ray's memory once again so he could go after the next victim. Ray understood this too late because right then, the memory reset was activated, rendering him unconscious. Katie objected to Harding repeatedly manipulating Ray's memories so he would go after different targets, saying that it was unfair to him. He told her that if she wasn't comfortable with it, she could leave. She told him that he knew she couldn't because RST would deactivate her respirator, which would lead to her death. Harding told her that Ray was already dead and that the next mission would be the last, then he sent her off to go set the scene. Harding replaced Martin from Ray's memories with a new scenario of how Gina died, this time with his own former associate at RST, Nick Barries, as the culprit. Ray awakens, once again going through the usual routine and reintroduced to RST and the others. He then experiences flashbacks of Nick kidnapping and killing him and Gina instead of Martin. His drive for revenge fascinates Harding, while Jimmy is disgusted by it, leading Harding to send him off. IT personnel Eric scans Nick's hideout and reports back to Harding that it's very secure, like a fortress, but nothing Ray can't get through. Ray tracks Nick to East Sussex, where he gets intercepted by Nick's security detail. Nick sends for Wilfred Wiggins, a programmer who works for him against his will, to bring a box. Eric immediately recognizes Wiggins and tells Harding who he is, mentioning Wiggins' impressive work that was used on the program being used on Ray. Eric recognizes the item inside the box as an EMP bomb that would sever Harding's hold on him. Harding realizes it's a trap set by Nick and frantically tries to tell Ray to leave, but Ray doesn't listen as he fights his way into the building, receiving shots on his body in search of Nick. Wiggins activates the EMP and gives the detonator to Nick as it charges. Ray is taken back to the room he was being kept in. Ray gets to Nick before the detonator could charge completely. He tells Nick that he had told him that he would come for him, then he shoots and kills Nick. As he turns to leave, Wiggins activates his own detonator from where he is, which turns off electricity all over the city and cuts off Ray's connection to RST. The detonation of the EMP bomb renders Ray unconscious. With Ray cut off from the control of RST, Harding gets agitated. Wiggins electrocutes Ray to awaken him, and Ray sees memories of different faces of men who killed Gina. Wiggins explains to him that RST has been manipulating him so he would kill Harding's former associates. Ray decides to look for Gina. Wiggins tells him that RST would go after him, and they might even send Ray after him too as his wife's killer like the others. Ray makes a cut on his palm, pouring the blood on a glass, which he hands over to Wiggins so he can work on it, and then he leaves. Wiggins gives him a phone to help him track Gina instead of using the nanites in his bloodstream because they are connected to the RST database so as not to let RST back into his system. He gets Ray a manual car as well. Eric sees Ray driving out of Nick's house, so Marcus and Jimmy, who are on standby, are given orders to go after him. Jimmy is gleeful about the mission, but Marcus tells him to remember that Ray is one of them. However, Jimmy doesn't think so anymore. Ray tracks Gina to London, where he confirms that she is actually still alive, but that she had moved on because their relationship had ended a long time ago. His questions seem to get her worried as she tells him that they had settled everything and he had agreed. While they were having the conversation, Gina's daughter Daisy came out in search of Gina, which shocks him. Gina tells him that she now has a family, so he asks her when was the last time she had seen him, and she replies that it's been 5 years. When Daisy comes back again in search of her mom, Gina sends her off to find her dad, but then Ray disappears. Ray experiences flashes of memories he thinks he shared with Gina. He collides into the armored vehicle with Jimmy and Marcus inside. Jimmy chases after him around the city, while Marcus launches some flying cameras in the sky to locate Ray. Meanwhile, Ray and Jimmy are hit by an incoming truck, thereby destroying Jimmy's engineered legs. Ray is distracted enough that Marcus stabs him with a USB stick of some sort that helps RST log back into Ray's system, giving them power to shut him down. Ray is recaptured by Marcus and Jimmy and then taken back to the laboratory. Harding sends Katie after Wiggins, but she argues with him, telling him to do it himself. He punishes her by deactivating her respirator, making her struggle to breathe, which gets her compliance, so he turns it back on. Katie beats up Wiggins' security detail as she drugs him using the fumes from her cigarette. Harding talks to an unconscious Ray through a neurospace. He alters the scene, making it look like a place Ray had been with Gina before. Ray accuses him of using him to kill people and making him watch his wife being killed multiple times. Ray tells him that he just wants to put people like him into a box where he can control them, but he can't control him. Harding tries to talk Ray into seeing the good sides of working with him, but Ray isn't having it. He tells Harding that he would kill him when he finds him, ending the conversation. Katie returns to RST, telling Harding that Wiggins knew she was coming, so he had gotten away. Harding gives a command to Eric to make Wiggins Ray's new target, since Katie failed to finish him off. Eric starts the process to reprogram Wiggins' face as the man that killed Gina and Ray. Katie sneaks off to the control room, connecting a USB stick to a computer, allowing her to enter the scene being created in Ray's mind. Eric and Harding sense that something is amiss because the scene keeps changing as it's being tampered with. Harding realizes that Katie is responsible, so he goes after her, telling Eric to inform Jimmy and Marcus to suit up, and about Katie going rogue. Ray recognizes Katie in the scene and asks her what she was doing there. She responds that she was doing what she was supposed to do a long time ago. Then she triggers a remote that gives Wiggins control of the scene being displayed in Ray's mind. Eric is unaware that Wiggins was the one messing with the program. He sees Ray shaking on the table he is placed on. Wiggins gains access to RST programs as Ray wakes up, freaking Eric out. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Marcus suit up to go after Ray to end him. At the control room, Harding tries to permanently deactivate Katie's respirator, but Wiggins denies him access to make such a command. Wiggins talks to Ray through the microprocessor wired through his brain. Katie destroys the RST computers by setting it on fire. A fight starts between Ray and Jimmy, with Jimmy having an engineered set of hands fixed at his back. Ray pushes them both on top of an elevator. Marcus joins the fight as they both try to kill Ray, but he holds his own against them. Meanwhile, the elevator starts to slip, about to fall down, with Ray and Marcus holding on to it for their dear lives. Jimmy uses his engineered hands to start cutting the metal wire holding up the elevator, causing Marcus to fall to his death. Ray climbs up the about-to-fall elevator and gets a hold of Jimmy's suit, which he uses to drag him down, breaking off the metal hands then throwing him down the building. Wiggins sees that Ray's nanites are going haywire. He reports Ray's location, which is on the ground floor, to Katie, and that he was going after Harding. Harding tries to run away, but Ray confronts him, destroying his vehicle to prevent him from running away. Harding tells Ray that he can easily rebuild everything that has been destroyed. He tells Ray that he is the only one who can rebuild him and that he can't survive without him. Ray approaches him, totally indifferent to what Harding was saying, so Harding reaches for a grenade launcher in his trunk. He shoots it at him, and Ray catches it. He holds onto it as it explodes on him, causing his nanites to start losing power drastically. Wiggins communicates with him to stop whatever she was doing. The nanites go back into his body, repairing it as he keeps approaching Harding. Seeing this, Harding shoots another grenade at him, which he catches again as the nanites deconstruct it. Ray activates the grenade to Harding's surprise, killing them both. Katie and Wiggins manage to bring him back. He wakes up later with Wiggins inside a trailer with him. Wiggins is anxious, thinking he might kill him if he doesn't remember his memories, but Ray tells him that it was nice seeing him, bringing relief to Wiggins. Wiggins proudly tells him that he has updated his nanite technology to be self-sufficient, and that he is way stronger than before. On his way outside to join Katie, he thanks Wiggins. Katie tries to apologize for not doing more to stop Harding, but Ray tells her not to because it's in the past now. He says that who they were in the past shouldn't determine who they should be in the future because they have a choice now. They drive off together in search of a new life. Subscribe for more daily videos. Your support, likes, shares, and subscriptions mean a lot. See you in the next video.